Well, hello, it's Miss Gina, and I've got a couple of books planned for you, a couple of stories. But before we do that, I had a weird, interesting fact from Disney I wanted to share. In the movie Up in 2009, Carl's house was lifted by 20,622 balloons. That's what lifted Carl's house, but it would take more than 20 million balloons to move it in real life. So think about that. That's a lot of balloons. I really like balloons. That'd be a task getting that many up in the air and going, wouldn't it? That'd be fun to try, though. So I love that movie. Thought I'd share that interesting fact with you. And then we're going to move on to Leo Gets Lost. And then after we read Leo Gets Lost, we're going to read Rumpelstiltskin. And that's from Treasured Tales. Rumpelstiltskin will be next. So Leo Gets Lost. Put on my reading glasses. It's illustrated by Jennifer Bartlett. It's a cute little alien. Leo follows his friends into the cosmic forest. They're in the cosmic forest. It is almost dinner time. Surely he will be back soon. Wouldn't want to miss dinner time. After a while, the forest becomes so thick, Leo doesn't see his friends. He looks behind him and can't see his house. Should I go left or right? Leo thinks. I'm lost. That look on his face. He says, I'm lost. I like how some of the leaves look like hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's getting late and Leo has to get home. But how? He sees the red crater. I passed that before. And those are my footprints. My house must be this way, exclaims Leo. House must be this way. Leo climbs up the crater to see over the trees. There's Court Tower. I can see that from my bedroom window. I know I must be close. He's got to be close. It's getting closer and closer. At last, Leo sees his house. Then he hears his mom calling, Leo, dinner. And your friend is here too. He hears his mom calling. That's got to be a relief. It says, little Leo wanders far away from home when he follows his friends, only to find he's lost. He has to retrace his steps in order to get home in time for dinner. That was smart of him to retrace his steps. So that was Leo Gets Lost. I hope you enjoyed that one. We're going to move on to Rumpelstiltskin. And this one is, these are Treasured Tales. And it has all kinds on the content page. There's all kinds of stories in there. There's Little Red Riding Hood. There's Jack and the Beanstalk. Maybe we'll read Jack and the Beanstalk next. So today we're going to read Rumpelstiltskin. I've lost my page. Give me a moment. Okay, there he is. Rumpelstiltskin. We have to turn the page to begin. You know how it begins? Once upon a time, there was a boastful miller. One day he told the king that his daughter was so clever that she could spin gold out of straw. "I must meet this remarkable girl," said the king. "Bring her to the palace at once." The king took the miller's daughter to a room filled with straw. In one corner stood a spinning wheel. "You must spin all this straw into gold before morning," the king told the girl, "or you will be put to death." Then he went out and locked the door behind him. What would you do? What would you do if you were told that? Could you spin straw into gold? Let's watch and see what she does. What do you think will happen next? The poor girl sat at the spinning wheel and wept. She cried. How on earth could she make gold from straw? Suddenly the door flew open and in leapt a funny-looking little man. "Why are you crying?" he asked. When the girl had told him what the king had said, the strange man replied, "What will you give me if I spin the straw into gold for you?" "My pearl necklace," said the girl. So the little man sat down at the spinning wheel and quickly spun all the straw into gold. Then he magically vanished from the room. The next morning, the king was amazed at all the gold. But now he wanted even more. So he took the girl to a bigger room and had it filled with straw. Once again, he told her to spin the straw into gold by morning or she would die. Then he left. The poor girl sat down and wept. Suddenly, the odd little man appeared. "What will you give me if I help you this time?" he asked. "My pretty ring," the girl replied. So the little man began to spin, and soon all the straw had turned into gold. Then he vanished. The next morning, the greedy king was astounded, but still not satisfied. So he took the girl to an even bigger room, piled to the ceiling with straw. "If you succeed this time, you will become queen." The king said, "If you fail, you know what will happen." As soon as the girl was alone, the little man appeared. "I have nothing left to give you," said the girl. "Then promise me your firstborn child when you become queen," said the man. "I might never become queen, and I may never have a child," the girl thought, and so she promised. So the strange little man sat down at the spinning wheel and began to work. He spun for many hours, and the pile of gold grew and grew. "At last," said the little man, "my work or my task is done." Then he finished. And then he did what? Then he vanished. The girl gazed around the room. It was stacked from floor to ceiling with glistening gold that shone like the sun. At dawn, the king was overjoyed. He kept his promise and soon married the miller's daughter. The whole kingdom rejoiced, and the king and his new queen were very happy together. A year later, the king and queen had a baby. By this time, the queen had forgotten all about her promise, but the funny little man had not. One night, he appeared in the queen's bedchamber. "I have come for your baby," he announced gleefully. "No," cried the queen. "I will give you jewels, gold, anything you wish, but please do not take my baby." She wept so miserably that the little man took pity on her. "Well, very well," he said. "If you can guess my name within 3 nights, you may keep your baby. If not, the child is mine." Then he disappeared or vanished. The queen sent messengers out to gather names from every town and village in the kingdom. They returned with thousands of suggestions. Over the next 2 evenings, when the little man arrived, the queen questioned him again and again. "Is your name Tom?" "No," replied the little man. "Jack? Mac? Peter?" She asked. The strange man shook his head. Could it be Brutus or Clarence then? Each time the reply was the same. "No, your majesty." By the 3rd day, only one messenger had not returned. Late that afternoon, he was on his way back to the palace when he saw a hint. He didn't see a hint. He saw a hut. He saw a hut in the forest clearing. In front of it, an odd little man was dancing around a fire singing, "I'll be the winner of this game. The queen will never guess my name. She will lose and I will win, because my name is Rumpelstiltskin." The messenger galloped back to the palace and told the queen what he had seen and heard. She was so grateful, and she rewarded the messenger with a huge sack of gold. That night, the queen eagerly waited in her throne room for the little man. When he appeared, the queen asked, "Is your name Guzzletum?" "No, it's not," laughed the little man. "Is it Bumblebottom, Jiggle Joggle, Tickle Tooth, or Wiggle Woggle?" "No, no," he cried. "Your time's running out, your majesty." The queen smiled. Could it be Rumpelstiltskin? The little man could not believe his ears and flew into a rage. "Who told you? Who told you?" he shrieked. "How did you find out?" He cried and squealed and beat the floor with his fists. "You won! You won!" He wailed and disappeared in a shower of sparks. The little man never came back to worry the queen again, and she and her family lived happily ever after. And that was the end of Rumpelstiltskin. A name like Rumpelstiltskin would be hard to guess. You'd need somebody to help you out with that. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll read some other delightful treasured tales another day. And I hope you've enjoyed your Saturday and make it a good one. Remember to read more in 2024 and grow your brain. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.